Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL Don't Panic. A little bit of an on-the-fly one to get it out in some sort of level of time that it actually might be a little bit useful for you guys. A lot of you will be free hitting, I would imagine, for game week 34. Very jealous, very, very jealous indeed. So what this actually is a little bit of a combine. It's a free hit team if you were chasing rank. Maybe just a little bit different. What I'm actually using it is just for my own purposes as well. A lot of the players I put in here are ones that are on my watch list, so it could serve a double purpose. If some of you aren't free hitting, but you're looking at players that you might be interested in bringing in to sort of cover the last 4 or 5 game weeks of the season. There might be one or two useful picks in here for you as well. So yeah, it's a bit of a combination of some of my current team. If I was free hitting, the players I'd be going for, particularly chasing rank, but players that some of them certainly are, not all, there's a few more that I haven't put in there. The likes of Acuna, who I'm really, really interested in. But there are reasons why I'm not sure he's a good choice, and we'll get to that because I'm sure a lot of people are thinking about Cunha, and it could be a great choice. But Cunha, I want to talk about. I think he could be a risky player to bring in. All right, let's get into it. I may be working off 2 computers here, so if I'm turning away and looking into something, you'll have to forgive me. But let's just start. Okay, I think Pickford or Sells. So that basically gives you an option. The reason I've got Pickford in there is I just think if you're looking for upside, Everton's defence is good, but Pickford does make saves. So I would say Pickford's probably the more risky pick given his fixture, but could have the highest upside because they will have saves, and we know he's capable of having, getting a haul. The reason I'm looking at Pickford and why I may bring him in at some point, it won't be this game week, is their last 2 games of the season. Sorry, this is me having to go to my other computer. Yes, I mean, his form hasn't been too bad. I guess he had that 9-pointer against Nottingham Forest. Other than that, it's been some save points. He's had save points in 4 of his last 5 fixtures. Obviously, he had the City defeat, the 9-pointer against Nottingham Forest. But this is what, we know that Everton can keep a clean sheet, and we know that he'll make saves. So he's got that whole potential. Whereas if you've got goalkeepers that are playing your Southamptons and your Ipswiches, you might come away with your 6 points. So that's that. The reason I'm interested in from my own team, though, maybe even that's another reason I've got another Everton defender in there to look at some point in the future, is just that running. Ipswich at home and Southampton at home. So their last 2 home fixtures at Goodison Park. Last games to be played at Goodison Park against Ipswich and Southampton. They're obviously not guaranteed clean sheets. They're obviously not guaranteed save points. But I think for me, as I look to maybe having a decent rotation, because I've just discovered Sa is yellow flagged, so we'll have to have a look at that potentially if I get news on it, or I have got no goalkeeper for the next game week. So if I did bring in a goalkeeper, although the if I did have to make a goalkeeper transfer because I have no goalkeeper, then I think I'd go with Pickford. I might not catch the points now, but there is a decent chance of a haul, I think. But then there's a couple of really good fixtures where I'm pretty confident we should get those clean sheets further down the track. With particularly, as I say, the last matches to be played at Goodison Park, they'll be stoking up for that one, I think. So that's that one, and then the other choice, Leno, it's self-explanatory, really. Decent fixture, decent record. Why not? Why not? So those would be the 2 options I'd present for the free hitters. In the defence. Sessegnon. Now, I thought as that came into my brain in the last day or so, I thought that would be quite a big differential, but it does seem like more and more people are talking about him now. I do think it's a good option, though. I don't think he'll be that highly bought, but maybe a little bit higher than what I was anticipating. But you've basically got a defender there, playing as a winger against one of the weakest right backs in the Premiership. There's a lot to like about that. So you've got so many routes to points there. I mean, it is potential mega haul. there. You know, if he gets the clean sheet, he could get an attacking return and maybe a few bonuses as well. His numbers so far are good since he's moved. Let me just bring him up here just so I can make sure I'm not talking out my arse. Yeah, I mean, last five, his numbers are really, really, really. Oh, gee, you know, I'm sort of tempted to be honest with you as I just look at that. You know, 7, 4, 7, 1, 11. Um, you've got to think that's, you know, the problem for me is any player I bring in, I've got to look to it. It's not just about one game week. I'm going to have to make two. I'll be at the moment. I could be going. I thought I was going into the blank 34 with 9 players. At the moment, it looks as though if Sar's out, that I'm down to 8. So I may have to take a strategic hit somewhere, a strategic worsening of points forced upon me if I've only, you know, because I do want to have 11 players out. I've absolutely decided I want 11 players going out for that. Particularly if I manage to come through the challenge of the just having 5 doublers in 33 intact, which at the moment is going better than I could have possibly hoped for. I am going to fall back outside the top 100k after the doubles in the next day or two, but hopefully it doesn't look as though it's going at the moment doesn't look as though it's going to be as bad as I thought it would be. But Sessegnon, Southampton, going down that wing against their right back is useless. Southampton concedes so many goals down that way. And his numbers are good. Unfortunately, his fixtures are not fantastic. You know, as a free hit, I absolutely think it's the way to go. For me, Southampton away, Everton home, the only two. Brentford away, not. Oh, I don't know. It does give me a definitive player in 36, I suppose. That's one for me to think about, but I'd absolutely think as a really good punt, if you're free hitting, I would absolutely be doing it myself if I was free hitting. Right, who else have I got in there? Trent, yeah, just do it. I'm going to give you some reasoning here. The dodgy goals that Liverpool concede are always post 60 minutes. Trent, I think, will start, and I think he'll come off on 61 minutes, and Liverpool will probably concede an iffy goal somewhere post 60. His whole potential is amazing. I said one of my predictions very early in the season, if anyone cares to go back to my very, 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 very first video I ever did, I said Trent would be the top scorer, top scoring defender in the Premier League. And even despite the injury, he's still number one at the moment. The numbers, if you look back of his last 5 where he's played 60 minutes or more, are very good. It's Tottenham at home. They could win the league. Just need 60 minutes at Trent. Get his clean sheet. Get, you know, an attacking return in there somewhere. Back providing bullets. I think Salah is a better pick now. I was thinking to drop Salah. I think Salah will be better now that Trent's back. I think Salah missed Trent. We'll talk about that in a second. I think you know, if you're looking for upside, we know that Trent has got those 50, 20 point hauls in him. Just go for it. Just go for it. The other one, if I was taking the 3 that I would start, playing with the 3-man defence, would be Ait-Nouri. I think you just. I think we've all been trolled a little bit by Ait-Nouri at some point in the in FPL this season, but he's scoring again. Last 5 fixtures. I mean, he fits my model. I am seriously considering him. But his last 5 fixtures: 2, 8, 2, 14, 5. For me, he's one I'm going to. He's actually under serious consideration for the rest of the season to bring in. It's just at what point, and it might be that this is the point, you know, to bring him in for Gabriel potentially. Leicester at home, and then some other decent enough fixtures in there. So yeah, if you're looking for 3 whole potential defenders, if I was free hitting, that's absolutely where I'd be going. Yeah, Trent, Ait-Nouri, and Sessegnon. And there 50 points, and they're easy, isn't there? 50 points must be. I hope there isn't, because I'm not going to have them all. But it's where I'd be going. Midfield, okay. Is Diaz a controversial choice? Don't think so. Again, just going by this whole thing, you know, Liverpool's chance, win the title at home to Spurs. Spurs are poor. They've still got their eye. The only thing they've got going for them now is to win this flaky European trophy thing that they're in. Those games are going to be coming. I don't think bodies will be going on the line from Spurs. There could be heavy rotation. Liverpool are going to be going best foot forward. And best foot forward, I think, does include Diaz. And with Diaz, I don't think there'll be too many. I think people, again, it's one of those players I think that people have been stung by a few times this season. But Diaz is actually still up there with the top scoring midfielders. And he has been consistently starting. And again, those numbers, the last five, 69693. For me, I don't think I'd be bringing him in. I don't think he's high enough. He'd be a consideration to bring in for this game week. But my priority actually is probably to bring in a different striker. Again, we'll talk about that shortly. But I've made a note of him in my own watch list because he absolutely meets my model for my spreadsheet, which you guys have seen enough of. You know, of that consistent return, and his minutes have been, it was just a 35 minutes in there, but other than that, 3 game weeks ago, and he actually returned in that, he got a goal in that anyways, but his mate has been 90, 85, 35, 90, 90. He's consistently returning. Spurs at home, probably maybe rotating a bit, giving it a giveaway fixture. I think right now we can't risk anyone. Good differential. I don't think too many will be putting him in, so it could be one of those like nice ones that you suddenly get a double-digit haul out of that not too many other people are getting. Salah, I've left Salah in there. I'd have considered taking him out only for the return of Trent. He's not been at it, has he? He's not been at it since Trent's been out. And I just think Trent just finds him with some beautiful balls. He skips in behind that defence, spurs that flaky defence, but will still come out on attack. Could be mega haul. Can't leave Salah out of your free hit. Can't. I mean, Salah should technically be leaving my team based on his returns in the last 5 weeks. But you can't. He'll kill you just when you doubt him. He'll kill you. And going back to one of my predictions right at the beginning, my very first ever video, I said Salah's going to be coming out of the blocks this season. He's had his full season, the rest. Maybe just he's getting a bit tired towards the end of the season, like he did last year after the Africa's Cup. He didn't come back the same player. He still was returning, but not on the same scale that he had before. So similarly this year, I mean, he had his full pre-season rest. He's, as we all know, we've all had him absolutely flying. Maybe just slow down a wee bit. I just think this is such a big game. I think Liverpool are going to want to win this thing in style. And I think Salah, you've got to have him. And I think you've got to have that captain's armband on him. I think this one could be a big one. So you've got to have him. And a lot of people will probably be putting it on Isak, and it's toss of the coin stuff that. But I think I fancy Salah more in this one, given the scale of the game. Right, this one's a little tricky one, and I've thought this through. I think Barnes has got to be in there. Barnes has been absolutely phenomenal. He has been playing better than Murphy, and Murphy has been playing well. I've actually thought about this. I still think Gordon's going to start on the bench, but if I had to take a guess between which one would go on the bench if Gordon's going to come back into the team, I think it would be Murphy. I think Barnes is a good punt. I mean, God knows he's served me extraordinarily well the last 2 or 3 game weeks. I mean, if you look back at my video that I did, what was it called? Advantage in adversity or something like that. And I spoke about Murphy, and that was my last thing. Murphy, that's my favourite. Fuck, I'm glad I did that. It has saved me through these last 2 or 3 game weeks. Absolutely has as a differential. In fact, as I say, I've been playing with the 3-man Newcastle attack, and that just couldn't have gone any better, really. Even Isak Blanking's kind of good because there were so many triple captainers on him. I'd be going Barnes. If I was free hitting out of my own team at the moment, I would still be keeping Barnes in there. He is just in too hot a streak of form. And you've got to get these players when they're in the purple patch. And I think Eddie Howe will know that he is in his purple patch. I'm pretty sure he'll be starting. We'll see. Right, on to the painful bit for me. My team, Man United. We are atrocious. As I did predict, we played kids in the match against Wolves, and we got beaten 1-0. I don't think the kids played that badly, but just that lack of experience. We can't find the back of the net, and just moments lack of. Actually, said that was actually a good goal. To be fair, it was a fantastic goal. but we're going to be going out against with kids. Although I don't rate the Bournemouth defence that much, that attack is still slick. Now, take your pick. I've gone Semenyo. Semenyo, I know he can be frustrating, but he is the sort of player that will rip United a new one. He really is. He is the sort of player that United defence hates, running at you, trickery in the box. He'll win penalties. He'll get a goal, and he's going to get at least a goal against United. At least. He is the sort of player we absolutely hate. About my words, someone will get sent off trying to tackle him, or bring him down on the box. And he'll skip through and get an easy goal. Honestly, and the runs that he makes, we hate him. It's going to hurt. It's going to be painful, particularly if we've got a bunch of youngsters out on that pitch, which we will have. I think you've got to have a really, really strongly recommend for this game week, at least, and you'll see I've got two in there, at least one Bournemouth attacker. Right, Bowen. Again, I think this is again a differential. But that Brighton defence looks rotten. West Ham will get a goal or two. Then they could still lose 4-5-2. But I reckon West Ham will get a goal or two. And if West Ham score, it's just a simple law of football economics. Bowen will be involved. And I don't think too many will be. And I think that's the thing you need to do with a free hit team, particularly as I say, chasing rank, is to have a few differentials in there. Bowen has served me really, really well over there since I brought him in. Really, really well. He's probably one of the most consistent players that I've had in the last 6 or 7 game weeks, and he always seems to dig me out of a hole just with a little goal, just when I just needed the most, as he has done this last game week. And just think, yeah, I just think he's worth having in for Brighton away. Really do. Yeah. Then up front, now going Evan-Neilson again, sort of player we absolutely hate. Man United. So I could just repeat all the same things that I just said about Semenyo there for Evan-Neilson. But he's been in a really good streak of form. I know he's blanked in his last 2, but he's actually been looking really, really good since he's been back, and he has returned in 3 of his last 5. And again, Bournemouth is the sort of team United hate. Said it all. I'd actually be really strongly looking there. Now, other options there could be Cunha or Strand Larsen. Now, I'm really, really interested in bringing in Cunha from my own team because I think he maybe has more longer-term fixture benefits for me. But I've been thinking about it. I'm just a wee bit worried. Cunha's going to be on his way. Cunha will be on his way at the end of the season. This is why I'm not sure I'll even bring him into my own team. I mean, Strand Larsen could actually be a better pick if you're thinking about that Wolves fixture than Cunha. I love Cunha. I mean, just the I think it was just on the assist, didn't he just get to full bonus points just because of the way he plays and his involvement in the game versus Man United? So he had an assist, and but he came away with like a really good score. What was it? So yeah, I'm pretty sure he got all the bonus points. Yeah, 8 points out of just an assist, and we know he's capable of goal. He's on the penalties, etc. My concern is he a minute's risk? He's going to be gone from Wolves at the end of the season. So from a Wolves perspective, particularly in a fixture like this, is this the one? We've got to play the team that we're going to have, for next year. Cunha's going to be gone. We're actually not going to get a shitload of money for him because he's got his buyout clause, any of it, which is whatever it is, 30, 40, 50 million. So playing him isn't going to really have any intrinsic benefit. They're clear of relegation now. The results that have happened means they can't be relegated. Are they just going to focus? Well, these are the lads we're going with next year. Yeah, Cunha will bring you in for a few minutes here and there. I'm not saying for sure. He probably will start, and he'll probably back a hat-trick. So it just feels there may be a little bit of risk there. So thus, I've gone with the Evan-Neilson, and the other one there. Wood's back. Is it time for Wood again? Wood would be a really strategic one for me to bring in, and he may be taking the place of Cunha. He's obviously back, got his goal. Just have his fixtures and the way he actually would, the way he would actually fit into my own team. And we'll go that. I haven't done the spreadsheet. I had my big night with my friend last night. We didn't make it to fishing this morning. So I was talking about because there was an accident involving a very, very large bottle of bourbon and some of New Zealand's finest. Yeah, it's the fixtures for Wood, and obviously it's a reasonable enough fixture. Brentford home, Brentford's defence not great, but then I've got the likes, Leicester and Palace defence not great coming up. West Ham always going to concede. Yeah, the last 5 fixtures, for Brentford, even Chelsea at home, especially if they're involved in that European competition. Wood, I have not bought Wood pretty much all season. I had a little stint with him, and then he got injured. But maybe it's time to bring in a little New Zealander to see this Irishman living in New Zealand home. See if we can get that top 100k finish somehow or by some trick or something like that. So maybe Wood is the one to help me get there. So from my perspective, from my team, a non-free hitting team, I'm certainly interested in bringing him in this week for Mateta. I think he's a pretty decent pick on a free hit team as well. Isak. He's not been pulling up too many trees, has he? It's Ipswich at home. I think you've got to have a double Newcastle defence because I think Newcastle will be stung by that last result. The 4-way away to Villa. Isak's a flat track bully. Ipswich's defence is awful. You got to have him. You can't. As I say, there's a few. I want to have risky picks in here, but I think they're actually picks that may be some of them just a little bit different. So I'd definitely be having Isak in there. So it really then becomes a question out of the ones there. Players I didn't mention there, but I don't think they'd be in the starting 11. But there are options to consider. Kirkus, Bournemouth, if you tripled up on the Bournemouth, because Kirkus is under consideration for my own team. I like the look of him, and Bournemouth do fit to my model for my team going forward for the rest of the season. And Keane, as I mentioned, really, if I have enough transfers, if I can manage to work it out, quite keen, pun not intended, but now that I've said it, yes it is. Yeah, just some of those Everton fixtures, can rotate them in and out with my other defenders, which are good anyways. As I say, with those fixtures, Everton and Southampton at home, the last 2 matches to be played at Goodison. Yeah, definitely want a piece of that. I can't really think who I'd want to bring into attack would be better than what I've already got, or others that I'm thinking of bringing in. But certainly getting a piece of that Everton defence, I think. And it doesn't have to be Keane, it could be a Branthwaite, maybe someone with a bit of a goal threat. Tarkowski, is he back? But something in that area. But if I was just taking my 11 out of this for a free hit, toss up between the goalkeepers. Pick your own poison. And there's actually a lot of really good goalkeeper options out there at the moment. But it would be definitely going just the back 3: Aït-Nouri, Trent, and Sessegnon. Midfield. Who would I take out of that? Probably drop Bowen down and have him as first up off your bench, I think. Then you've got really good at Diaz, Salah, double Liverpool attack, winning the title at Anfield against that Spurs defence, which could be a heavily rotated team with their involvement in Europe. Absolutely be going there. Yeah, and then Barnes and Semenyo. Barnes obviously against Ipswich in an incredible vein of form, and Semenyo against a woeful United defence that is going to cough up 5, 6, 7 chances. Good, big goal scoring chances, and a few of those are going to fall to Semenyo, and I bet he wins a penalty. Then up front, just go with those 3. Again, just go with those 3. So it's a bit of a differential free hit. We'll have a look at it after the game week and see how it goes. Even if you don't do all of them, maybe there's a few things I've said in there that might help you with some of your choices, or indeed some of your picks that where you want to look at players where you might get something out of now. I know one of my subscribers is actually going out with not a full 11 and may need to take a hit or two for a 34. So there might be one or two players in there. From my recommendation to you, probably look at if you do need to take a hit or two just to try and bump up your numbers on the pitch. Where would I go? Got to do it in the attack, I think. And looking towards game week 36, so you've got some doublers, potential doublers. Probably be going Wood for a hit if you have to take a hit. Wood. You know, go Trent. Take a punt. Take a punt. Other than that, hope that had some use to you. As I said, yeah, I'm a little flaky today. I look brighter than I actually feel. We didn't make it out to fishing. I rose from bed at about 11 a.m. and then thought, no, I'm going back to bed. So this is a brief rise, and I might go back for another sleep. Take care, have fun, play your own game. I'll see you in 48 hours, where fingers crossed I haven't been decimated by the team with a full bunch of doublers going out against my 5 very dodgy doublers. See you soon. Bye-bye.